Hi, you're in the moment with Dr. Tanya. I'm Dr. Tanya Gilbert, and I'm sitting here in the moment today, as I do quite often, and I'm thinking about what is happening right here, right in this moment today. And the thing that really comes to mind for me are the high school students. I think it's just such a phenomenal event where they're out exercising their rights. They can't even vote yet, but they're preparing themselves by saying, I'm responsible for my future, and I can't depend just on my parents or the government. They realize they have a voice, and they're using their voice, and it feels great to be alive, actually, in a time where kids are taking such great responsibility. And that's what's going to bring about change that's going to be lasting change, is those that it affects the most. It affects all of us, but it affects the children the most because they are the future. And they're taking responsibility to say, we're not going to allow this to continue. We're not going to grow and be in the era that our parents are in. We're going to do something about it. So I would like to have a discussion about that today. I have some folks in the studio audience today that are interested in having some conversations about what's going on in our current climate. Okay? So, you only see me on camera because we try to protect the identity of anyone that's in the audience speaking with us. That's the only reason. But you'll hear their voices. How are you doing today?
Very good. Doing good.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was just speaking about the kids and how the kids today, right now, as we sit here, are like in Washington, they're in downtown LA, they're in all cities and states all over right now, and they're taking a stance, and they're saying, you're going to hear our voices. What you do matter to us, and it's not about money, and it's not about politics. It's about having, a safe, secure future. So, anyone like to speak on that?
Dr. Gilbert, what advice would you give to the kids right now that are nervous about going to school in light of these events?
The advice that I would first start giving is to follow the example of their peers, is to take some type of action that will create change. So they don't have to have this kind of fear, because you can do things to reduce your level of fear. But if you're always afraid, then it's a quick fix. So I would say follow their peers, and then I would say try to take responsibilities for their own actions, their own thoughts, their own well-being. And when you do that, I'm not speaking of just your personal space. I'm also speaking of their friends. Kids tell each other things, and it's not about, being a snitch or a telltale or anything, but it's about saying to your friend, why are you thinking that? What's going on? Have you tried to talk to somebody about that? Well, maybe we can go and talk to my parents if they can't talk to their own parents. Or maybe we can go and talk to my older, brother, sister, auntie. So the communication could be with anyone that's in the air of listening, because a lot of times you don't feel like you can speak to your parents or your teachers or whoever. You may feel misunderstood or unheard, but kids hear kids. So talk to each other and encourage each other to have other conversations, because I think it comes from their fear and their stress and feeling unseen, unheard, and bullied, either being bullied at school, being bullied at home. And bullying happens in so many ways. You don't think you're even bullying someone, and you just don't know how it's going to affect another. But kids support each other, and follow the lead of those children that are doing things to change things in a positive manner. And encourage your friends to talk to you and to talk to each other and to talk to somebody, even if it's not their parents. What do you think about that?
That sounds like a good idea.
You think it's a good idea? What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. I think it's pretty inspiring to even see fellow classmates or fellow students or fellow young people to stand up and have a voice. And that's what brings other people together to listen, you know, and I think it's very important too, the teachers or authorities or anyone to know about it, because then, you know, they will be prepared, they will know what to do and prevent it from happening.
Yes, prevention. My grandmother used to always say, 1 ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I used to, what is that she's speaking about? But now I understand. You can do the smallest thing to stop something from happening, and it'll have the most profound effect than trying to create something huge to change something after it happened. You know? So yes, prevention, prevention, prevention. And you are of the current generation, and you see your peers out here. These are the folks that's out here doing these. How do you really feel about what they're doing? How does that make you feel?
I feel in a way kind of stronger and more connected, to be honest. Like, seeing this kind of happen, and this hasn't really happened before, really, but I mean, seeing the kids in the same generation that I am, it makes me feel stronger and makes me feel like I can be even stronger than I am today.
Great, exactly. And as a person, I could be your grandmother, not even your mom. I could be your grandmother, and it helps me feel empowered as an individual to see the teens and the younger adults doing this kind of thing. It's really powerful. Mom, you're a mother of a young adult that's sitting here in the audience with us today. How are you feeling about what's going on in the current climate?
I feel very proud of the youth that are out there today that are strong enough and feel empowered enough to be able to go and speak up on how they feel about this situation. I feel like communication is key. Having a young adult, I feel like that's a part of the problem is communication breakdown. Because I feel like a lot of the shootings that have happened, there have been telltale signs, and there has been red flags, and there have been different communicative methods that have happened that have just fallen through the cracks. So I think it's important to communicate, but I think listening is really important. And I don't think that they're taking into consideration that the kids were so serious, which is why I think it resulted in this big coming together of everybody, because the kids want us to know that they are serious and that they want to be heard. So I think that this is a great thing, because what it did bring about was more open communication and more awareness to people to actually pay attention to red flags. So I'm proud of the kids today, that what they're standing up against the gun violence.
And I just want to piggyback on what you're saying before I close out our conversation today. Like you said, there are red flags that happen. Mental health is key. Just to be fit is key. And when I say fit, I'm speaking of mentally, emotionally, and physically, because it all goes together. And if, as an adult, if you don't feel seen or heard, you respond in ways that may not benefit you well. And you have been here long enough that you've acquired skills in your life to assist you in that. So just imagine what these young folks are up against when they depend on us to make a difference in their lives. And I believe that it's not just they're saying, I'm serious. I believe they're saying, listen, because the gun violence, the folks that have done this, they weren't born to kill. But I believe when they do this, they're saying help. And they feel like the only way to get heard is what they're doing. They're just in such darkness. So, I mean, that's like sort of my take on it. And we can continue these conversations even more. But it's very, very important, parents that's out here. Please listen to your children. Don't hear them to respond. Listen to them to understand. And with that, I'm closing. I'm Dr. Tanya Gilbert, and you're in the moment with Dr. Tanya. You can follow me on Facebook at Dr. Tanya Gilbert for Change. You can also follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel, In the Moment with Dr. Tanya Gilbert. Thank you.